Welcome back to Max Level EDC, and sometimes I get a variety of gear that doesn't fall into a specific category. Tools, EDC accessories, and so on. And today is one of those days. We're going to cover a bunch of different items that I have, and yeah, we're going to play around, including talking about probably the scariest packaging that exists in the everyday carry world. Let's get started. We're going to kick things off with a new product that I discovered by accident, and I purchased a couple just to see if they were any good. Now, you may have already seen a video about the SwissKarry clip, right, from Clip and Carry. Now, before this one right here, it's the only one that I knew of that's easy to attach to a Swiss Army knife, but it had a fundamental problem. As you could see right here in the image, if you wanted to get access to the tweezer, you had to use the toothpick to try to dig it out. It was really quite a hassle. So the fact that there was this new company, this new design that allows you to easily access that tweezer without having to take anything off or do anything complicated, well, that had me really interested. So I'm actually going to show you how easy this thing installs. And it's actually a decent pocket clip that goes directly onto any Swiss Army knife that has the opener layer. So it's not going to work for the compact or the 93 millimeter. It's going to work for the tools that have this standard kind of opener layer. So I'm going to actually take this one off of this tool, and we're going to actually install it, and I'm going to show you just how easy this actually is. So I'm going to open up this new package. It literally takes like, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes, not even. So I'm going to show you. In the package, you're going to get, and I got the black topo for this one, a tool, which will be all you're going to need for this, with 3 screws. So you only need 2, but they give you an extra, which I really appreciate. So what we're going to do is first we have to mount this little metal attachment, and the way it's done is really smart. So you open up the flathead, which, as you can see, it kind of moves that piece out of the way. This will actually put it in the position that is necessary in order for it to slide on, just like so. So notice what happens when you close it. It slides in, locks itself in place. How cool is that? So now we just position the pocket clip right on those little pins that are there, just like so, like that. And then we take a screw, put it in the little hole, and then we tighten it up. And once that's tight, then there you go. So you can see it's nice and tight. Now, we don't want to over tighten it, so this is something you definitely want to kind of like, now don't go crazy with it. Then the other screw goes on the opposite side once you have that done, like so. Sorry, trying to do it with the viewfinder is a little bit more difficult. And then just tighten that one up, and that doesn't have that many threads, so you're pretty much good to go right there. I'm actually going to tighten this up a little bit more. It looks like this wasn't quite fully positioned. All right, let's go ahead and tighten this a little bit more. There we go. Looks like it's right on. How's that look? There we go. Now we're talking. And there you have your pocket clip. Now I notice right here, because I'm just playing with it a little bit, that the black one does not come into contact with the frame quite as well as the silver one did. Like, this one really worked well, and I think you could see it's perfectly flush here, but it's not fully seating itself on that pin, and I think it's because of that coating. So here's what I'm going to do. Take a pair of pliers here. I'm going to squeeze this. See if I can get it to seat itself. That is definitely better already. And then let's go ahead and tighten it up one more time. Oh yeah, that was definitely loose. So there we go. Tighten that up all the way. Aha, fully flush. Now, see, now it's touching. Now it's touching. There you go. And check that out. That is as easy as it can be. And you still have access to the tweezers. You still have access to the toothpick. Now that is a good design. Genuinely a great design for a clip that goes on a Swiss Army knife. Something that Swiss Army knife should have done a long time ago. Just like how they did it with the SwissTool MX clip, they should do the exact same thing with their Swiss Army knives. And in fact, I would quite literally, if possible, they should contact this guy and they should get this design, because it is just about as good as you would want it. It doesn't impact the ergonomics in any way. In fact, if anything, it's actually kind of pretty comfortable in hand, and allows you to have a pocket clip on your Swiss Army knife that you can take off whenever you want. And honestly, it's not that difficult to put on and off. So because of that, yeah, I like this. I like this better than the Swiss Q clip, I have to say. Also cheaper than the Swiss Q clip, which is hysterical. More patterns, nicer finish, and seems to function a little bit better. I will try carrying this for a little while to see how it holds up over time, but the spring tension gives me a good feeling about it because it does snap back really well. Curious to hear your thoughts. We're going to move on to some of the other items that I got in the mail. Now tell me this isn't the coolest packaging you've ever seen, but also terrifying if you don't know it's coming, okay? They actually did a really cool job actually writing everything out, like the phone number you can call, where it's made in Oklahoma. It says, warning, this product may cause ease of use. Your keys may thank you. Side effects include clicking noises, sticking to metal objects, and severe envy by others. I mean, genius is an understatement in the packaging. This is brilliant, not to mention probably very good for cost savings. Anyway, this one is, which one is this? This is the version 3 in titanium. That's all I can see from this. Let's open that up and see what we get. So we get a little sticker, cool. And this is a series of magnetic connectors. Oh, damn. Holy moly, these are like strong. These are, oh my God, these are ridiculous. Okay, all right, I see you. These are insane, these connectors. You basically have to put the clasp on there to pull directly out. You have to otherwise you have to bend it like this and then pull it off, because it's just, that's too much strength on those. That's ridiculous. That is very, very cool. And actually not as big as I feared. So I actually kind of like that size. It's about 1 inch in length. In fact, I can check that real quick. Let's go ahead and check that. I think it's just over an inch. Yeah, like 1.25 inches, about 1.25 inches. Yeah, very cool. And I like the polished finish. So this is their titanium, made right here in the USA. Very cool. So let's put that one aside. We got 4 to take a look at. Next one is the V2, sorry, looks like Grenade Black Cerakote. Ooh. Yeah, you're definitely gonna need some hand strength to open these packages because it's child safe. That is too funny. Oh my goodness. That is a lot bigger for sure, but that is a cool pattern. So same length, oh no, definitely not the same length. Look at the size difference. Oh boy. So we have big old magnets, a frag pattern, titanium with titanium, it looks like titanium split rings as well to go along with it. That is very, very cool. I am definitely going to try these. My concern is that the magnets are almost too strong. These are like ridiculously strong magnets. So no fears of accidentally these things coming unattached and you don't know about it. That's for sure. All right, so this one is the Keeper Titanium. Let's take a look. So once again, we have stickers and then, oh, it's a key keeper. Now this is cool. So it's a magnetic key keeper, and you actually have a spring washer to put your keys into. Ooh, I might play around with that too. I like that a lot. Very, very cool. Whoa. I mean, that is ridiculous. Look at that. That's crazy. I love magnets. That's insane. Look at how strong they are. They come in from that distance. That is just wild. Absolutely wild. So strong. Like, I think he might have gone a little overboard on the magnetic strength on these. But you know what? I think people will like it. So this is the version 4 titanium stonewash, I'm guessing. Jerry rig, whatever that means. Let's go ahead and see what that means. Jerry rig. Oh, what the heck is this for? What? Okay, but why? Okay, what is this? I clearly need to know. Wait a second, wait a second. Is this designed to fit directly into another key organizer? So like it allows it to rotate around, like for a key port like I have in my keys, or yeah, I think that's what that's for. I think that's literally what it's for. That would make perfect sense. So you can add an attachment, but it folds out of the way so you can get access to your keys. Oh, that's actually very useful. I might actually skip putting my car keys on this and I might move it over here. That might be interesting. There's a couple ways to do this, but give me some ideas for sure, but like that's ridiculous. Look at how strong this thing is. Oh man, very cool. I have to say, amazing work from Urban Carvers here. If you are looking for a magnetic key attachment made here in America, check these guys out. And if I remember correctly, they're very affordable. So yes, they are premium, but also very affordable. And I gotta say, I adore the packaging. Well done. Very enjoyable unboxing experience. Very cool products. I am looking forward to playing around with these in the future for sure. Okay, during the last Prime Day, I was creating this concept in my head for a pocketable toolkit that could one-for-one compare with a multi-tool, right? Like a plier-based multi-tool. So I had to combine pliers and screwdrivers and scissors and all of the things. And I'm looking for something really compact and light that would function as a screwdriver and maybe be also reasonably priced. So I found a series of hybrid screwdrivers. Now these have a ratchet on one side, but they also have a standard 1/4 inch on the bottom. So they work as an independent screwdriver. This is one variation. And what I liked about it is it comes with this extender, which obviously it gives you more reach, but it has the added benefit. If you notice, you line up the red dots there, and it turns into a T-handle for extra torque. Now these are made in Taiwan from the same company that, or the same OEM that makes the $40 kit you can find at Harbor Freight. It's the same basic product. It's just being rebranded by a bunch of different people, but made in Taiwan, all of these, and they basically do the same thing, right? So this I liked a little bit more because it provided a case that also had an elastic opening. Maybe I could use this as 1/2 of my kit, while the other half was including, you know, different items that fill out the multi-tool, if you will. I was trying to establish same price, similar functionality. I did discover that it would be impossible to do so and stay under the same weight requirements. But other than that, I think I'm pretty close to making that pocket toolkit video. So that will hopefully be coming up before the end of the year at some point. And I think these may or may not make it into that video. It depends heavily on whether I go with this system or the one by 711L, which their ratchets also come from Taiwan and I think are made in the exact same factory. So same quality control, just slightly different lengths, so you can kind of vary things up a little bit more. So that's basically the gist of what's going on with these. These have been around for a long time. They're well loved. Prestacycle is primarily tools designed for bicycles, but you can see you can use these in a lot of different applications. So don't disregard bike tools. They tend to be very compact and very functional, And so you can find a lot of really cool EDC gear by looking in that category. Now, I don't always have time to give a proper review for products that really need a long-term review. When you have leather goods, especially ones that are as rigid as these because of the quality of the leather, you need to carry them for weeks, if not months, before you can really get a sense of how good they can be. In fact, I've seen a couple of these that have been carried consistently, and there is a huge difference between them. So these are designed by Silverfox in the UK, and they are incredibly well made. So great stitching, riveted, and by the way, a removable rivet, which is really the big thing about these organizers. This is one variation, there's a smaller one, and there's also ones that are just this organizer section by itself. And what's cool is you can take these rivets and you can actually set this up in any way you see fit to become an organizer to fit your specific gear. So rather than having a pre-established divider, you can do 3 columns, you can do 2 columns, you can do 1 and then a really tiny column. You can do it any way you want, and that's the beauty of this system. So it comes with 6 rivets to play with, which should be more than enough for most things. And then this smaller one comes with 4 rivets, and obviously you don't need quite as many with it. But you can see, you can, whether you go right in the middle or to one side, you can kind of adjust it depending on the type of items that you carry. The only critique I really have is I feel like this piece of leather in the middle that connects the two probably doesn't need to be there, and it would allow it to fold a little bit easier. I may even, with the small one, I might actually, if he's okay with it, I might even try it cut, but I don't want to do so without permission because I feel like I need to give this a proper carry, and it would take literally carrying this every day for at least a month before this leather starts to break in. That's how thick and how you know, just over the top this leather is, in a good way, in a good way. This is going to be a lifetime kind of product. So you buy once, cry once kind of situation. And made in the UK. Very, very cool. So if this is for you, if this is something you've been waiting for that's different, take a look. He doesn't just have these, he has a bunch of different products. I covered his pen, which is currently on, I think, Indiegogo or Kickstarter as well in a recent video. These guys are doing some cool work and definitely worth looking at. Last products we're going to take a look at is a bit more conventional. We're going to be looking at a knife from Odenwolf. What caught my eye is a couple of things. Number one, both these knives look very good and the reviews are very good, but the price of these is less than $20, which automatically gets me a lot more interested. The blade steel is in D2, and both of the variations I purchased are coated blades. So they have black wash, they have plain stainless, and then they have coated, which I think is more ideal for the D2 blade steel. The grip on this is, for lack of a better word, phenomenal. This one turns out is not going to be my favorite, but they make a variation in a Scandi grind with a micro bevel. And this, on the other hand, now this is definitely exciting. I'm actually looking forward to playing with this at Georgia Bushcraft. It does not have a 90-degree spine, so that is something of note. But for less than $20 and a good sheath, an actual good sheath with a decent clip, and listen to that. I mean, no movement, proper retention, thumb ramp. Like, they've done a lot of good things with this knife. And for less than $20, it is absolutely a consideration. I will be playing with it. I'm not going to go much further because there's nothing really to talk about until I've actually used it more. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts. If you've ever bought something from Odenwolf, please let me know. I'm curious to hear what you think of this company in general. The last thing we're going to talk about is a new utility knife design from Gear Infusion. Now, it's really, really cool that they were able to send this out for me to check out. It is currently on Indiegogo at a discounted price. They have not yet fully been released. Now, this I've already covered on a previous video, but the Ever Ratchet is a really, really slick keychain tool that actually has a ratcheting bit driver that holds onto the bits. Very, very cool. I'm going to put that aside for now. We're really going to focus on the prize slash utility knife here. So when I started actuating it, which is the way you do is you pull the system up, I immediately recognized that this is something I'm very familiar with myself. I have actually been doing something similar with 3D printing for a number of years. And I will tell you, I did not invent this mechanism. This mechanism has been around for a very, very long time. But the concept is really simple. You're just simply moving the lock out of the way, moving the blade underneath, and then it slides forward. So in this case, it works just like so, the exact same basic method, but this is in titanium. I didn't know that was actually a possibility. So really cool job with Gear Infusion, and they even have a magnet that kind of keeps it from rattling, which I really, really like. You have a somewhat of a pry tool on the corner. It's pretty steep, so I can't say it's the most efficient thing in the world, but it is there if you really, really needed to use it. I think they would have been better off kind of moving this lanyard into a different spot and using this corner instead for a pry tool. Just my opinion. Now, the other thing is I recently took the same mechanism that's in the card here and put it into this, which is a teeny tiny little 3D printed one for my wallet, and it functions in almost the same way. Obviously, 3D printed, it's going to function differently, but the concept is still there. Overall, this works very well. I know this is going to work because I've been using these for a while. And so I like this mechanism. I think it's a very simple one, and it's not going to fail. And it's likely going to work with a bunch of different blades, especially the ones that have the 4 different prongs. So let me actually take out this Lennox blade right here, and then you can try it with this one and see how it goes. So that's not what it's going to come with, but let's try it. And I'm curious to see if it engages, and it does nicely with that first lock. So you'll be able to have more exposed blade there, or if you go all the way, let me show you on this side, to there, you just have a very small amount exposed. So if you're just kind of trying not to dig too deep into something, you can use that as well. So it's really going to work very well if you have one of these Lennox blades that have 4 different positions. I would highly recommend upgrading to that blade if you can, if you decide to get one of these. I'm curious to hear your thoughts below about utility knives in general, especially in this form factor. Very, very, very cool offering. This is, like I said, it's on Indiegogo right now and will be coming out very, very, very soon. I will never get tired of being able to see and try new things that I did not know existed. And there are just so many cool ones from so many different makers all over the place. Whether it's a clip for your Swiss Army knife, a new fixed blade, utility knife, key keeper, or wallet, I mean, hey, that is so much fun, and I am having a ball. If you have a specific item here that you think needs a dedicated review, maybe one that takes a little bit more thorough, in-depth approach, let me know down in the comments. As always, thank you guys for your time, and we'll talk again soon.